Today is currently day 7 of the UAW strike, and recently in the comments on some of my videos, I've been getting people asking me, like, what are my thoughts? Am I concerned? Am I nervous? And my stance is, it is completely out of my control. So for me, it's business as usual selling cars until it's not business as usual. And right now, we're selling cars. In fact, I just got a lead on a 2500 Silverado. Now, the guy doesn't necessarily want a plow truck, but this is the only Silverado I have that is a 2500 HD. So I told him all about it. We're gonna send him some pictures. We're gonna send him all the information so he and his business partner can discuss it and see if this would work for them. The UAW builds a number of vehicles for General Motors, and specifically in my case for Chevrolet. You know, they build the Bolt EV and the EUV. They build the Camaro, they build the Corvette, they build the Malibu, the Colorado, the Suburban, the Tahoe, the Traverse, the Express van, and many Silverados. When you're driving with a plow, you want to really make sure you pay attention to those two indicators on the left and right, that you don't scratch or hit anything on the lot here. So obviously, because they built so many different vehicles for us, we can obviously be greatly affected by this. The 4 vehicles that they do not build is the Trax, the Trailblazer, the Equinox, and the Blazer. So there should be no slowdown or no disruption with those 4 vehicles. I always like to take the time to put the vehicle in a better position so the background is better in the photos. Where it was just parked in the back there, you have the dumpsters and the cardboard recycling and the body shop and all that sort of stuff. So we don't necessarily want that in a photo. We want to make sure we get nice photos that'll really show off the vehicle and how nice it actually looks. I'm just going to do 2 shots of the outside, 1 of the inside, and then we'll be good to go. Also going to take 1 just from the back corner, and there we go. What I'll do with these photos is put an email together, put the photos in it, put the link to our online ad for the vehicle, put that in there, put the window sticker in there, just a whole bunch of information so they can, again, decide whether this would be perfect for their company or not. Again, they were really looking for a single cab 2500 for one of their foremen. You can't get it. It's next to impossible at the moment. So this is the closest thing I could offer. It currently has 70 miles on it. This was actually our plow truck, in that we outfit 2 of these last year. We used them as plow trucks on the lot, and then when we get into like the end of March into April, we look to sell them. This one's still here. It didn't sell throughout the spring, didn't sell throughout the summer. Now we're coming into the fall weather. It should sell no problem now, because as we come into the winter, that's generally when people are looking to buy plow trucks. Now, getting back to the strike, you know, I'm not concerned. And I'm not concerned because, listen, this has happened before. There's been strikes in the automotive industry. It will happen again. I actually had to look up the last strike there was, because I really didn't remember. The last thing I remember was in like 2019 when the C8 Corvettes were first being built. The plant went on strike and it was holding up some of the first orders of the C8. And I remember that because the C8 was a substantial vehicle. That was something we were all looking forward to. And when that slowed down, it was like, oh man, this stinks. A brand new model's coming out and they're not building it. But I looked into it, and in 2019, they were actually on strike for 40 days, from September 15th to October 25th. Now, I can't tell you what plants were on strike and how it panned out. I don't remember. I didn't do all the research on that sort of stuff. Again, this is something that's out of my control. So generally, I don't use my energy towards it. I just focus on what I have to do here at the dealership. But I did look back at my YouTube videos from 2019, and I did make a video talking about the fact that we were concerned that we weren't getting more vehicles in. So watch this next like minute and a half, and then we're gonna compare it to the times of 2023. I'm going to start right now just kind of going through some of the inventory and some of the challenges we're facing at the current moment, because 2019s are pretty much gone. We don't have many left. If you look here, Traxes, we have a bunch. I got about, was it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 left. 2 Bolts, 1 Camaro, no Malibus, no Volts, 1 Sonic, 3 Impalas, 1 Corvette. Now, when you get to the bread and butter of what we really sell, like your Equinoxes and Traverses and Tahoes and Suburbans, we only have 5 Equinoxes left. These are all 2020s. Blazers, we have about, what is it, about 9. Haven't really been selling them all that much, so I'm not too concerned about that. Traverses, sold out of 19s. That's all we have left in 20s. And with this strike going on, we're not getting more. So we're getting into a situation that really our best selling vehicle, the Traverse, and the Equinox we're loaded up with 2020s. We're in good shape. But the Traverse, we're running out. We don't have many left. Tahoes, we have a handful, a little better than a handful of 19s left, which is good. Suburbans, we got one. Silverados, believe it or not, we have some 18s left here. Handful of 19s, handful of 20s. So we have enough to get by. But the whole idea is we need to get vehicles in, and right now they're not coming in. So hopefully this strike ends soon and we can get some more vehicles shipped over to the store. Used cars, we have plenty. We're loaded up pretty good, which is good because if you have someone that's looking at a 19 Tahoe or Suburban or maybe an Equinox Traverse and we have a certified pre-owned that's very similar, a lot of times the customer will switch from buying a new one to buying a certified pre-owned, taking advantage of the extra warranty and all that sort of stuff that we've discussed in previous videos. So how crazy is that? Did you hear me? I actually sounded like I was nervous about not having inventory. When I looked it up, we had 287 vehicles in stock that were on that board. We had 158 new and 129 used cars on the ground, ready and available. I just had a customer come in on a Trailblazer. This is the only Trailblazer I have. We've been sold out of the Trailblazer for like the last 3 months. And the only reason we have this one is a dealership in Pennsylvania needed something from us and we decided to swap with them and we took this in return. So we actually have one remaining 2023 Trailblazer left. My customer that came in on this truck was an appointment from earlier today. We've been emailing back and forth. It would be a company purchase. His company buys him a company car, but what he has to do is he's got to find what he wants, get it priced out, submit it to his company, and his company has to approve it. So in that process, we're not holding his vehicle because we only have one, right? So it has to be available to whoever's ready to buy it at any given moment, which he understands. So he's gonna get the information to his boss or the powers that be, and hopefully they decide quickly whether they want it or not. And if they do want it, hopefully it's still available when they're ready and I can sell it to them. He's pretty open to the equipment in the vehicle. It's just basic transportation for him to run from job site to job site. The one thing he would like is a black vehicle. We don't have it. None of the Schumacher stores have it. We actually only have 2 Trailblazers left out of all 5 stores, and we're waiting for our first 24s to come in. I just looked right now at the port. There's probably like 9 vehicles that are waiting, I guess, to go through customs because it just says it's a delayed ETA to the store. One of them is coming here to Schumacher Livingston, and then the other like 7 or whatever it was are going to get distributed to the other 5 Schumacher stores. So the 24s are, you know, some have arrived in country and we're just waiting to get them to the dealership. Right now, looking at our current inventory, we have 2 Chevy Blazers. I got a bunch of Equinoxes, a bunch of Traverses. We obviously have the one Trailblazer we just spoke about. Out in the distance there, you're gonna see some Chevy Bolts. Those are all sold and spoken for. Today, we actually got a delivery of about 9 or 10 vehicles, and all of them were sold except for 1 Equinox and 1 Colorado. So, you know, pretty much we're working with a small inventory. I counted it up earlier today. We actually have 22 new in stock, 17 used. So that's 39 vehicles. However, we do have the additional 2, like I just mentioned. So really we have like 41 vehicles in stock. It's so crazy to think that the last time GM was on strike, we had almost 300 vehicles in inventory here at our location. And I was talking like I was concerned, but with all we've been through between the pandemic, the chip shortage, everything that's been going on for the last 3 years, it doesn't seem to worry me that we only have 40 vehicles in stock while GM is again on strike. So it's just, it's so funny to see how times have changed. We're used to now just rolling through our inventory. I think in August, we sold 70% of our inventory. So you figure if we had 100 cars on the lot, we sold 70 of them and there's 30 left. You know, in the old days, we would have 300 cars on the lot and sell 100 of them. You know, 30 to 40% of our inventory. So we're carrying a lot less, but we're selling what we have. If anybody watches my channel who ordered Chevrolet Bolts from our store, but not from me, maybe these are your cars. We have a couple of EUVs here as well as an EV. Your salespeople should be calling you soon to let you know that these are here. They just showed up a couple hours ago. We did get another LT Colorado in, which is pretty good. Right now, I think the only plant that is actually on strike for GM is the one that builds the Colorado. So, you know, this vehicle is all new for 2023. We actually haven't gotten all that many of them in. I would say maybe about a dozen. And, you know, obviously we've sold them all. You know, most of them were pre-ordered, you know, factory ordered units for customers, with the occasional unit that we ordered for stock and sell, you know, once it gets here. We recently got in this sterling gray custom Trail Boss, really nice looking vehicle. However, it's currently not for sale. If you look at the top of the windshield and the roof there, you probably can understand why. Here's a Riptide Blue Equinox. I may have mentioned this earlier in the video, I don't remember, so I'm just mentioning it again. I think it looks pretty good. In here we have a 2024 Black Trax 2RS, which I think was held. Somebody put a deposit on it, but they may have canceled. This one might actually be available. Most of the Chevy Traxes are selling before they arrive. I think like the next 14 or 15 that are coming in are all already spoken for. Is it my imagination, or on most of these Saturday videos do I talk about how it's very slow and there's not a lot of traffic coming in? Today is no exception. We've had 2 customers here which were both deliveries, and we had a couple customers pick up cars from service. No new clients coming in to the store at the moment. It's probably about 11:45, so it's still a little early. A lot of times in this area, I know there's a lot of fields down the road, and they had some soccer games and things like that going on, so probably a lot of families are wrapped up with stuff like that, kids sports, things of that nature. So usually we get a little busy towards the afternoon. Hopefully that happens again today, like it has in Saturdays of the past. This way I could put one of these great vehicles on the road and make a family very happy. That's what it's all about.